Hello again. I'm going to show you how I would use a mask tool to help get rid of some of the unwanted distractions in the background in this photo, aka the outlet out here, down here in the corner. I've got my image open, I'm on the background layer. I don't want to work on the background layer, so I'm going to hit Control J and make a new layer. Then I'm going to zoom in so that I can see what I'm doing. And this is so slow. I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna take I'll take this, the lasso tool to make a selection of this background right here. What I want to do is I just want to take some of the background and cover the outlet up with it. So I'm going to grab just a big chunk of this background right here. Since it seems to be the same color all around, I guess this should blend in just fine. Then what I'm going to do is hit Control C, which will copy this, and then I'm going to hit Control J, which bumps it up onto its own layer. If you turn these off, you can see there it is right there. It's kind of floating there, and you can take your move tool and you can move it around. You can move it right on top of the outlet if you want, but if you look, then you can see where the edge is right there, and I don't like that, so I'm going to put it back where it was, but I'm going to hit Control T, and I'm just going to expand it and make it huge. Then if you see the edge is gone, I'll hit Enter, and that places it. So now you've covered up the outlet, but you've also covered up part of her hand and part of her jeans, and you don't want to cover those up because it looks ridiculous. So the way that you deal with that is you make a mask. You're on the layer over here that has the blob, and you're going to hit this little button right here, which is the mask button. You click on that and it adds a mask. When you add a mask, it's always white, and to get rid of the mask you paint with black. You could also paint with gray. The blacker you paint, let's see, how would I explain this? If you paint with a gray, it won't be as, here, I'll show you. Alright, here's a gray. If I paint with gray, it doesn't completely cover up the mask. Do you see what I mean? But if you paint with black, it does completely cover it up. So I'm going to go back here so I can show you what I would do. Alright, you got to make sure you're clicked on the mask and not on the layer. So make sure you're clicked on the mask. And then you're painting at 100% with black. And since there's some pretty sharp edges here, I want to make my hardness, I'll put it at about 65. And then, let me zoom in just a little bit. The tricky part is that you don't want to go over the edge, and you can't see that where the edge is because this is covering it up. So if you take the layer opacity down just enough so that you can see where the edge is here, that helps. Then I would just go ahead and paint and try to get right to the edge of where we don't want the blob of gray to be. And of course you don't want to paint over the outlet because we don't want that there. So what you're painting will show through the mask. So we've got our jeans and her hand, and then I'm going to bring this back up to 100%, and the outlet is gone, and that looks fine. So that is how I would do that. Let me zoom back out here, just make sure it looks okay. Then we've got her bra strap here. Let me zoom in. And my computer is like froze up. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're going to zoom in here, and we're done with this whole thing with the outlet, so I'm going to hit Layer Flatten, and then Control J to start a new layer to work with this area right here. And I'm going to grab my clone tool. It's at 100% and at 25% hardness. And like I showed you before in the other video, we're going to just come in here like this and clone this out. There's some gradients here that I want to make sure are smooth. There we go, but you can see there's these streaks right here. I'll show you how I use the patch tool. Even though you don't have the patch tool, you would grab it, lasso it, and just move it, and it blends it right in. Since you don't have the patch tool, I will go back and I'll show you with the brush tool again. Get your brush, set it at 0% hardness and about 11 or 12%. Make a new layer so that you're painting on a blank layer, and grab the dropper tool by hitting Alt and select your color, and then just kind of paint. You can keep clicking if you want to make it darker. You click a darker color. That looks pretty good. I'm going to get rid of this right here a little bit. There we go. Now, since this is just taking so long to zoom in, this area up here, if you look really close, it has noise, but where we painted doesn't have noise because we were just using a brush with a solid color. So that's why I click Filter, Noise, Add Noise, and that's a little too much noise, so I'm going to bring it down to 2, bring it down to 1. 1 looks good, so I'm going to leave it there. And then layer flatten image. And I'll zoom out if it'll let me. Make sure everything looks okay. Outlet's gone, bra's gone. This thing right here is kind of bugging me. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the outlet. I'm going to hit Control J, so we're on another layer. And I'm going to grab, I guess I'll use the lasso tool, and I'm just going to grab this part of this gray right here. I'm hoping that that went up high enough. Yep. Then hit Control C to copy it, Control J to put it on its own layer. There it is. And then Control T to transform it and just drag it right over, and then hit Enter to place it. And don't even need to do anything to blend it in. Oh, I missed that part down there. Oh, no I didn't. My computer's just being super slow. Let me grab my hand tool and move this around. There we go. That looks good to me. Layer, flatten image. I think that that is about all I can show you on this one. Hopefully everything I said makes sense. Photoshop is like the most ridiculous, powerful tool there is, and there are like a million different ways to do everything in here. I use all of them. But hopefully that'll help you with some of your images coming up here. Thanks.